Last time on Perfect World post-production, we started a brand new world, found a small blacksmith building, which we promptly moved into, and built a quick iron farm to get us started on this create-focused adventure. Today, I want to build some form of starter house. I'm thinking for now it just needs some basic storage, somewhere to sleep, somewhere to cook, and if there's space, maybe a basic create machine or two. We've already outgrown this blacksmith behind us, as lovely as it was for the first episode, but we definitely need something bigger. Before we get to building, however, we need to get to exploring. I need to find myself lots of things. Primarily, I want to try and get hold of all the different wood types. I also want to try and get some diamond tools to make building a bit more efficient. And of course, I need to choose a location for the starter house, which may well be somewhere on this island. I don't really know yet. Kind of depends what we find when we go exploring. Now, as I was editing last episode, I did leave the world running so we could build up some iron. And look at that, we've got 542 ingots. Wonderful. So we've got plenty of iron to get us going. And don't worry, I did see all of your comments about the rotation on this thing. I did actually change it before the end of the episode. Not gonna lie, I was quite sleep deprived last episode. Not too different from this one, I guess. And I forgot to even mention that I'd done that. So not to worry, the iron farm is working absolutely fine now. Things are spinning the right way, but thank you for your concern. And in the last episode, I did also ask you what theme you think we should build in, and we've had lots and lots of responses, but we'll get to that later. I think we've made kind of a decision, maybe, potentially, at least to begin with. For now, we need to make this exploration as successful as possible, and for that, we need to get ourselves ready. So we're going to take a bunch of iron first. We're going to grab some gold. And the first thing we're going to do is upgrade our backpacks further. So we should be able to get gold backpacks now, which is going to give us lots of slots. Yeah, look at that, loads of space. But what I also want to do is make use of these upgrade slots here. Now, eventually I am going to want a feeding upgrade, but we definitely don't have the stuff for that right now. And I reckon if we make some stack upgrades, that's not going to be a bad idea. So let's make a couple of those. And what these upgrades do is basically double the amount of items that can be stored in one slot. So instead of stacking to 64, we'll now stack to 128. And we can actually add more of these, and they will sort of add up. So now we'll stack 4 stacks in each slot, and so on. But I think I want a few more of those. Now, next up, I want the tool swapper upgrade. And yeah, I reckon we can do that. So we need a couple of bits of redstone, and we need some wood. We don't actually have any wood. So if we make a set of wooden tools, we should now be able to make one of them. So this tool swapper thing is amazing. You'll notice I've got a shovel in my hand at the moment, but as soon as I go to chop something wooden, you'll see it swaps it out for my axe. If I go for the mud, it will swap it to the pickaxe. If I go for the ground, it will swap it to the shovel. And if I attack an enemy, it will swap it to my sword. So that just keeps my hotbar a lot more free of items. And lastly, I think I also want a crafting table upgrade. So I need a chest, I need a crafting table, and I can make myself one of those. That means we now have a crafting grid in our backpack. What I'm also going to do is just set these slots as memory slots. That means these are the only items that can ever go in there. So even if the axe isn't in there, it's going to reserve that slot for us. In fact, I'm just going to change that slightly because we want to make sure our shovel is in there as well. We're going to stash some excess food in there. We're going to keep a saddle and some horse armor on us as well. I have a feeling they may come in handy. And then we have a secondary backpack, which is just going to be for storing lots of stuff. And I reckon that's pretty much everything we're going to need, apart from a boat. In fact, maybe we should take the shield with us as well, just in case. And hopefully that's going to be enough food to keep us going, but we'll do some looting on the way. I'm sure we're going to stumble across a village or two. They always have bread, right? We've got some iron to replace our tools. We've got a sleeping bag to sleep the night away. We've got a boat for ocean travel. Saddle and horse armor, should I find a capable steed among my travels. And I think that is everything we're going to need. Although it is dark, so let's have a quick nap and let's go exploring. From our island chain here, we had been over this way. That's where we got the leather from, but maybe I should head south, see what's over this way. Oh, in fact, before I go too far, I've just had an idea. And what I'm thinking is we should probably make a mechanical saw, because if we're going to be chopping down trees, that's going to make it a whole lot easier. So we need some iron sheets and an andesite casing with another block of iron. There we go. And we also want a crank, which, I see. We don't want zinc ingot, we want andesite alloy. That's why it didn't work. There we go. Right, now we should have everything we need. Oh, great, and it's raining. Fantastic. I guess we're going to have a very gloomy start to this adventure then. What's that? That looks like a new building. Wow, it's a giant building. What's in here? Wait a minute, is that? There is. There's a woodland mansion and a pale garden. Excellent. Well, this is a good spot. Let's see what this building has to offer. Horses. Slow horses. Cows. We've got some wheat. We're going to take all of this. We have a millstone, which appears to be connected to something. Oh, power stuff. And a toolbox. I'm not going to dismantle all the create stuff yet. Kind of want to see what we've got first. Oh, there's just stuff in all these barrels. This is wonderful. Well, I'll tell you what, that wasn't bad. There's a lot of stuff in here. And we've got a windmill next door as well. So we're just going to grab the toolbox. And as you can see, we've done quite well on the looting so far. We've found a whole lot of stuff. But I really want to get some of that pale wood, which is behind the woodland mansion. However, I don't think we're really in a position to do a woodland mansion raid right now. I mean, I don't even have a bow, which means the Vex will absolutely destroy me. So we'll have to come back for that. For now, let's grab ourselves a little bit of dark oak. So if we just do that, take out the block above and then do this, that should give us lots of dark oak. Wonderful. And then if we connect a bunch of these together and do the same thing, that should chop down loads of them. Yes, wonderful. Easy tree harvesting. Now, that's where we want to get, the other side of this place. But it's very, very hilly. It's going to be the best way round. Maybe around this side. And let's just get down to the water's edge. And I think we're just going to scale this cliff over here on the left-hand side of this thing. And we're definitely not going to tackle that now, but we will be back once we're a little bit better equipped to deal with that kind of thing. And there it is, the Pale Gardens. I want to grab a little bit of everything here. Oh, it looks like quite a big biome, this one, which means I don't have to feel bad about chopping a bunch of it down. Good stuff. So that's another wood type ticked off. What I'd really like to find, though, is some mangrove. But I don't see any swampland from up here. And there's none showing up on my map just yet either. Had I checked earlier, I think I would have spotted this a whole lot sooner as well. There are some warmer biomes off in that direction, however, so maybe that's where I should head. Well, I've made it back from my adventures, and the good news is we have lots and lots of stuff. We've got 2 backpacks full of stuff, in fact. The problem is I don't have anywhere to store any of this stuff. And in the Just Create series, I ended up with a portable storage thanks to Chosen Architect. He had a great idea to make a van that he could store everything in, and we're probably going to do something similar this season. But at the moment, we don't really have the resources to do something like that. What I am going to do, though, is make myself a great big vault. We're going to make stock links. We're going to make a stock ticker. And we're going to make a packager, which means, yeah, we're going to need cardboard, which means we're going to need to set up some kind of a mixer. And it's getting dark. When it comes to mixers, though, I'm pretty sure we managed to steal some, didn't we? No, maybe not. Not to worry, they're fairly straightforward to make. We're just going to need some crushed iron, or iron plates, I should say. That should be enough of those. Then we need some andesite alloy, and we're going to need a mixing bowl. We're going to need a whisk. We're going to need andesite casings, cogs, and shafts. So let's make the mechanical mixer. And now we should just be able to connect this onto here somewhere, I think. So if we chuck that there, stick the mixer on top, I reckon we can stick a cog there, and we'll stick another one in here. And that looks like it's spinning fast enough. Wonderful. And the reason we need that is because we need to make ourselves some pulp so we can make cardboard to get our packager. And making pulp shouldn't be a problem. We've got plenty of birch saplings. I just need to get myself some water to make my life a little bit easier. I'm just going to stick another infinite water source here. Then we can just load up the basin as required. Chuck those in, and that's going to make us pulp. And I believe if we put the pulp in a press, that then gives us cardboard. And then 4 of those, we can make a block of cardboard. We're going to need a bit of glass. Do I have any sand? We do. Wonderful. Now, we're also going to need some copper, so let's get this cooked up. We're going to need a bit of redstone. We're going to need our only gold ingots. That's going to be a problem. We really should get mining soon. And we didn't do a drill montage last episode, so we're going to have to do one this episode. It's rude not to. Now, in order to make these stock links, we're going to need transmitters, which means we need copper sheets. And I think we're going to need 2 transmitters because we need 2 stock links, one for the actual link itself and one for the stock ticker. So we need a couple of lightning rods. We're going to need those there with the sheets across the middle and redstone dust. That'll get our transmitters. Next up, we're going to need barrels to make vaults. But for that, we're also going to need a whole bunch of iron sheets. So I wonder, can we just stick one of those in there? Then chuck a stack of iron underneath? Yeah, that works. Wonderful. Can I power 2 is the question. Looks like I can. This is excellent news. So that's going to get us a stack of vaults. We're going to turn 2 of those into stock links. What are these? What's a vault component? I don't know, but that's not important for now. So I'm thinking if I just build a little vault here, how big can we make this before we run out? Well, that's 6 vaults long. That's actually not too bad. Now we're just going to put a ladder so we can get on top. And I need a couple of chutes, just like that. And we still need to make our stock ticker. We've got our stock link. We need a packager. We're also going to need a seat. So if we do packager, stock link, stock ticker, seat, we're going to make leads, and we're going to grab this guy, put him in there, and he's going to be our shop clerk. And now we can just empty our backpacks into the vaults. And in the meantime, I'm going to sort out all of these toolboxes we've managed to nab along the way. And there we go. Now everything's in one place. It's not sorted out, but at least it's in one place and it's easily accessible. Now, we currently have 10 diamonds, which is going to be enough to get us a few tools, but not enough to get armor. And I'd quite like to get some diamond armor, so that means we're going to make a nice... I see you. And by the looks of it, you see me as well. Just keep your distance over there, and I'll keep my distance over here, and we can go about our day. Don't need trouble from them right now. But what was I saying? Oh, yes. Drill. We're going to make a great big drill. And by great big, I mean we're going to make a drill as big as we can with what we've got. And to be honest, it's mostly andesite alloy that we need. So let's grab all of our zinc. Let's grab all of our andesite. Oh, we're going to need more of that. We don't have much alloy either. At least we've already got lots of casings, though. That's helpful. Now, what we're going to do is chuck some zinc nuggets and some andesite into the mixer. And that's going to give us twice as much as if we were to manually craft it. I'm also going to grab a bunch of cobble from over here, actually, and dump that into storage, just because it might be useful. So I've used up all the andesite that I had. Let's see how many drills we can make. 25. I'd say that's pretty good. So 25 drills. That's not too bad, I guess. We can do a 5x5 square. Not a bad size to begin with. Now, I'm not too worried about making it look good. I just want it to work for now. So we are going to need to go get some brass so we can have 2 deployers. We're going to need one there and one in here. Then we'll have the minecart there. And we're going to need a plow on the back, so we need some of those. We need an andesite casing. That will make us a plow, so that will go on the back. Then we're going to need a minecart, which will convert into a furnace minecart. We're also going to need a bunch of rail and some chests. So we'll add all the storage over here. Plenty of storage. We'll have the minecart down there. And now we also need a cart contraption. So that's what we need, a cart assembler. So we'll put that there. And I guess we could do this without deployers for now. I mean, it means it's going to be a little bit more work up front because I'm going to need to dig a tunnel that I can lay the track in. Oh, there's a creeper. I see you, buddy. Let's try and lure him over here. No, don't blow up there. Let's not annoy the pillagers. That's it, creepy boy. Come down here. Get away from my base. But yeah, with a little bit of work up front, though, we can just do this. Get it all stuck together. We'll stick a seat on the back for me. In fact, if I was smart about this, which has been known to happen, what I could potentially do is actually put the seat here, get that glued in, and then if I sit here and just spam right-click the track here, then in theory, I won't need to pre-dig a tunnel. I'll just be doing the job of a deployer. I mean, I don't see why that wouldn't work. Let's just get a few lanterns and light this thing up. We'll make sure those lanterns are stuck down as well. And that should be good to go. We just need a lever. Wonderful. So with our contraption working, that's good, but we don't have a wrench to pick it up with yet. And the problem is, for a wrench, I still need some gold. And, yeah, I don't have any, I don't think. Oh, no, I do. Excellent. Guess we'll make a wrench after all. So let's just flatten these down and make ourselves a wrench. Wonderful. Now let's just grab a few torches from here. We've also got plenty of rail. We've got our sleeping bag. We've got food. We've got a backup backpack. All right, I think we've got everything we need to hopefully have a successful mining trip, get a bunch of diamonds. In fact, I'm going to grab my boat just so we can get down there a bit easier. But what I'm hoping is we're going to get enough diamonds to be able to make ourselves a full set of armor. But we'll also get lots and lots of building resources because we're going to need those too if we're going to be building a starter house. So I guess I should probably get down to the lowest level that I can. Let's just dive down here. This all looks lovely, if not a little bit dark. But let's just start digging here. Once we get down to a reasonable level, we'll start with our mining drill. Oh, and look at that. We've found some diamonds already. Quite a few diamonds. How many have we got? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wonderful. Ah, I didn't think of that. I didn't bring an extra pick with me, or any iron to make one. Or any sticks for that matter either. Jeez. Not to worry, it'll only take a moment to head back up. Right, that's better. We've got some extra picks, and we've got the materials to make more if we need them. Well, I'd say that was quite a successful mining trip. We managed to get a bunch of diamonds, as well as some tuff, some deep slate, a bit of redstone, some more zinc, and even a little bit of gold, which is going to come in handy. I've now offloaded everything. We have 45 diamonds total. Excellent. That means it's definitely time to upgrade our gear. So we'll get a pickaxe, we'll get a shovel, we'll get an axe, we'll get a sword, and we should be able to make a full set of armor as well. Oh yes, look at that, looking much better. So I think we're almost there on things we're going to need to build the starter base. However, I also want some bricks, which means I need clay. Now, I haven't seen any lush caves anywhere, and we don't need loads of this stuff, so I could probably just go dig some out from the river around here. That's probably the quickest way to do that, isn't it? Let's go. Right, well, I've got lots of clay balls, but it's going to take forever cooking them up like this, so we're going to do something else. If I grab myself a bucket of lava, and we're going to want an empty bucket as well, and what I'm going to do is just reverse that for now, just so that it stops dropping gravel. Oh, hey, buddy. Then we're just going to stick a block and a trapdoor in there, and that should now... Ah. Yeah, probably should have thought of that, shouldn't I? I was meant to remove that first. Oh, at least we've got diamond tools. This should only take a moment. Now, let's grab another bucket of lava and try that again. Yep, there we go. We are now cooking. So if we just chuck all of this down here, it's going to cook all of this in one go. And that's going to save me a whole lot of coal and a whole lot of time. That's now all cooked, so we can switch all of this back. And we can turn the gravel back on. Wonderful. Now we can turn a bunch of this into brick blocks. Now we're looking pretty good. I think I just want to farm up a little bit more wood though. So let's just plant a bunch of mangrove. We should be able to chop all these down in one go. At least that's the hope. And we plant these diagonally just so when they grow, they don't destroy the other propagules we've got down. And then we'll plant a bunch of oak as well. Now, one thing we haven't collected any of yet is terracotta. And I'm fairly sure, yep, there we go. Look, there's terracotta over here. And I could do with some sand as well, to be honest. And I don't know if we're actually going to be using terracotta in our starter build. But as we're adventuring today anyway, I might as well go grab some. I mean, we do have a drill now, so it shouldn't take too long. And there we go. We now have a whole bunch of terracotta in a variety of flavors. I'm thinking that's probably everything we're going to need to start this build. We might need to grab a few other bits along the way, but what we need to do now is decide where we're going to build it. And I think I want it to be coastal. Let's just jump into free cam here. We are going to use this island as a starter island, I think. It should work quite nicely. And in fact, maybe we should just use this coastline down here. We could clear out a little bit and build our little house thing here. Yeah, that could work quite nicely. What I do want to do, though, is take this storage unit down there with me. So let's grab a lead, because we're going to need to take the parrot separately. Get some super glue. We need a mine cart, a lever, and a cart contraption. There we go, and we'll stick a lead on this guy. Come on, Larry. So around here somewhere is what I'm thinking. Let's chuck down our little storage bit over here. Stick Larry back on top. Now, before we can get started over here, I'm going to need to prep the land a little bit. So we're going to take out some of these trees. We're going to get rid of some of the grass and dirt. And I do have a rough idea of what I want to build in my head and also what style it's going to be in. But we're going to do a talkie montage type thing here as we build this. Because as I say, we are going to be winging it. So I guess it's over to voiceover Beardstone. Well, it turns out playing the game Beardstone forgot to turn on replay mod for the prep work, but he did at least leave the recording going. So after clearing some trees, I carved into the hillside to make space for laying a floor of spruce and jungle variants, then built a seawall on the coast to support it. This would give me a nice platform to place this first building on. And as we get the build started, let's have a little chat. So, last episode, I asked you what theme we should build in for this series, and there were lots of awesome suggestions, but the most often repeated were modern and solar punk. So I think that's the route we're going to go down, some kind of modernish solar punky type thing, but I don't really know much about solar punk. But what I do know is that we want lots of renewable energy sources such as windmills, water wheels and solar panels, alongside lots of green space and some cool technology integration. Think monorails, electric trains, clever farming, rooftop gardens and things like that. I'm not going to get it right straight out of the bat though, so with that in mind, this first build I want to have some kind of an oceanside building. A bit run down, made of stone, brick and a bit of mangrove wood, but also integrated into the hillside. With that in mind, I added a tunnel beneath the building which would take you up to the hill behind it, and we can then branch off paths from there. This type of build also means I can easily expand both off to the sides and back into the hillside if and when I need more space, creating a kind of hippie-ish seaside shanty town type thing with lots of greenery, foliage and visible renewable energy. And after a couple of hours of building, this is what we've currently got, which has ended up looking quite similar to builds I've done in the past. But it's okay, we've got lots more solar punky type things we want to do to this build, but I don't have the resources for it just yet. So let's just jump into free cam and have a proper look. So we've got a bit of a rooftop garden going on up here. We've also got access from the inside to get up there, but something I really want to have up here is some solar panels. But to make those, I need to go to the nether to get the resources I need. So that'll have to wait for the future, but on the inside we've got lots of space to be working with. We've got these kind of open areas on the downstairs. I don't know if I'm going to block off this wall yet or not. I may do, who knows. But I do think this area here would make a really nice kitchen, and over here probably just a selection of storage things. We've then of course got the path that goes up to the hill behind, but if we go upstairs we've got lots of space. So plenty of space for storage modules up here. We can give ourselves somewhere to sleep as well. We're going to need a bed after all. And as we saw from the outside, we've also then got access to the rooftop garden. We don't need quite so much of this tall grass though, I don't think. And we'll probably mess around with this, get a couple of paths in, and as we get more buildings as well, we're going to expand this garden. I kind of want it running across the top of a row of buildings around here. I think that would look really cool. But as usual, we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. I think what I want to do is actually sort out a kitchen. We're running low on food at the moment, or at least cooked food. We've got lots of stuff that needs to be cooked, and we do have the Farmer's Delight mod. So yeah, let's jam a kitchen in here for now, and then we'll have a little think about storage, but that might have to wait till next episode. I'm running out of time here. Now, for this kitchen, we're going to need a bunch of different things. We're going to need a stove. We're going to need cooking pots and skillets and baskets and breadboards. And I also quite like the idea of using some of these kitchen cupboards. And I think the birch ones would probably work best in this kitchen. Thankfully, all of these things look fairly straightforward to make. We're going to need to get a little bit more clay. We're going to need to get ourselves some canvas, which I think we get from straw, so that's okay. We need more clay and iron, a little bit of wood. Okay, yeah, not too bad. The hardest thing to get probably is actually going to be the straw. And not because it's particularly difficult to actually get, we just need to get ourselves a knife here, and then we need to chop up some grass. It's the drop rate. Oh, there we go. We did actually get one piece already. But yeah, we usually have to chop quite a lot of grass to get enough. I'm going to turn off my tool swapper as well so we don't accidentally dig everything up. Let's find a nice patch of grass and try and get some straw. And let's quickly grab some clay as well, although our shovel is about to break. But with that, we should now have all the resources we need to be able to build our kitchen appliances. So let's get crafting, and I'll meet you back indoors. All right, I've gathered a bunch of stuff. Let's see if we can make some kind of a kitchen over here. So we'll start with the actual cooking station. Let's maybe put that in here, which means we need baskets either side to collect the things as they cook. And for now, we'll have a skillet on one and a pot on the other. Then we'll get some nice cupboards in, maybe a couple of little sideboards. We'll put in a nice table in the middle here. We'll have our chopping board and a knife. Stash some extra bits and bobs up the top here as well, just so we've got an extra skillet and an extra pot. It's already looking pretty good. Although we do need some kind of extraction system here for all of the steam. So I'm wondering, do we grab some chutes? They could probably work. So maybe something like this. And I need one more chute. So let's jam another one of these in there. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to move the chopping board. I think that'll look better over here. And there we go. I mean, it's basic, but it's not bad. We've got plenty of storage for all of our food items. We can cook without needing fuel, which is wonderful. And for now, I think I will leave this open and we'll figure out what we're going to do with this in the next episode, because we also need to figure out some kind of storage. And we've got plenty of space for storage upstairs, and we need to build ourselves a bedroom. But sadly, that's all we've got time for today, because if I don't wrap this up now, then this video is never going to get out this week. It's already going to be a couple of days late. But if you've got ideas on how we can make things look more solar punk, I want to hear all of them in the comments. As I say, we are going to be mixing in just some general modern stuff as well. We've actually got a whole different bunch of islands over here, so we could potentially sort of stretch a city across a few different islands and have zones be slightly different from each other. And we're certainly going to need a nice big farming district somewhere as well. Otherwise, what was the point of me making a kitchen? But yeah, for a first build, I'm happy with how it's looking so far. But sadly, that is all we've got time for today. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye now.